Hi everyone, welcome to Krista's Curated Life. I am Krista and I'm a part-time reseller on websites like Poshmark and Ebay. You know from the setup already, it's a what's sold video. Today we are going to be going over sales from July 20th to 26th. I had a total revenue of $606.68, a profit of $374.39. I sold 16 items. And eBay took the cake this week. I don't know what happened. Maybe I promoted items this week. I'm not really sure. I had 12 sales on eBay and 4 on Poshmark, which I think is like the lowest I've ever had since I switched to Prime Lister, which is, it's just bizarre, which is funny because I think the 2 weeks before I'd also sold things on Depop and Mercari. Mercari is dead again. Don't know what happened. But anyway, my average sales price this week is $37.92. Round of applause for me. Anyway, so before I dive into it, I just wanted to say, hit that subscribe button below, like the video. I do make videos like this I do a what sold video every Monday, and then every other Thursday I like to throw out something else extra fun, maybe a thrift with me, vlog, whatever. If you have any requests for videos that you'd like to see from me, let me know. I do aim to please. But anyway, let's hop on into it. So starting off semi-strong, this I should have listed higher. This is a Johnny Was Asa cap sleeve, embroidered, flowered, camo tee. I got this at Turnstile, so I had my cost of goods listed as 0. I do think that I ended up paying $10 for this because they had like a 50% off red tag sale or something. They're getting out of summer. I listed this with comps, I think, for 34, which frankly is kind of low, but I feel like there was a few of this shirt listed and they hadn't sold at all. So this ended up selling for $37.81. After fees and cost of goods, I took home $27.58. And this one was listed for one day. Probably could have listed that a little higher. Live, laugh, love, learn. Okay, this is one of the items that helped my ASP get pretty high. This is a Western Rise jacket. I've never heard of this brand. Bolo. I'm blessing you with a Bolo this week, a new brand to look out for. Even in the dead of summer, I think the sell-through rate on this was like 80% or something insane. I had this listed for $100 on eBay, and I believe I had sent out my standard offer to Liker on eBay is 15%. And so they accepted that offer. So with shipping, it sold for $92.28. I got this for $2 at like a school. Our neighborhood had a neighborhood-wide garage sale. There were like 100 sales in my neighborhood. I didn't get to the sales until about noon because I'm training for a triathlon and I had a bike in the morning. Got this at a schoolyard sale, which is crazy. After fees, cost of goods, shipping, I paid $2, by the way, if I did not say that. I made $69.92. And this one sold after math 8 days in summer. So keep an eye out for this brand. It just feels nice, and that's why I looked up. It could have gone for a little bit more, but it had a small stain on the front or like darkening. I didn't even try to get it out because it was in such good condition that I didn't want to risk washing it. I was like, we're going to list it as is. Okay. In my last video, I talked about this brand, how it sells well, and then I had a sale that did not sell well from the brand. So this is a Wackle high impact underwire sports bra. It's a size 36 double D. Keep an eye out for Wackle because this sold on eBay with shipping for $29.64. I got this at the bin, so after fees and cost of goods, I took home $20.25. So keep an eye out for Wackle. Some of the styles specifically do sell for over $20, so I would look that up. And this one sold 8 days after I listed it. Up next, we have an Eileen Fisher sweater. It was a mock neck, medium, could have been a better size. It's blue. It was 100% organic cotton. It sold on eBay for $40.74. This one had to have been promoted on eBay, which I use a dynamic ad rate. If you use eBay's suggested ad rates, dude, they go up for like 16%. It's insane, especially like because sometimes with their regular fees and because they do fees on top of shipping, I'm like, it's already at 20%. And so I'm like, you want to make it 35%? Nuts. So yeah, I paid $8.83 in fees in this, which I feel like is super high. And I profited at $22.55. This one I did have listed since the beginning of March, so it did take a while. I list a lot of things out of season just because I'm part-time and I list between like 3 to 4 items a day. I have a ton of inventory right now, so I'm trying to list 4 because your girl I'm going to Hawaii in September and then I'm going to the Dominican in December and I got to pay for it. So you may see some more thrift hauls from me. But anyway, this was a good sale at $22. I am one of those people that does still pick up everything Eileen Fisher. Next, this was a sad bra sale. This is a Victoria's Secret demi bra. It's a size 36 double D. Someone sent me an offer for $9 and I took it because I've had this one listed since the end of September since last year. Sometimes there are Victoria's Secret bras that just don't move. So this one sold, this was a promoted listing. They offered $9 because what is it? After 6 months, I'm like trying to test out a few new theories, like a new strategies. So after 6 months, I open up offers I open up offers because I don't do that unless it has a really bad sell-through rate, then I'll open offers on my listings. So someone offered me $9 and I was like, you got it. So with shipping, it came to $13.35. I made $3.53. So I don't know if it's this style specifically. I did say I was going to start checking the sell-through rate of bras before I pick them up. I don't. I just pick them up. Next, we have an Eileen Fisher button-down shirt. This is organic cotton, gauzy, extra large. I could have sold this one for a little bit more, but it actually did have a small pull on the front, which is why I lowered the price. It sold on eBay. I don't know if that's right. Oh yeah, because I had it listed for 36. I think this one sold offer to Lakers, so with shipping, it sold for $35.40. I don't know if that one might not have been promoted, but I did take home $23.34. I probably could have bumped the price up for that one a little bit higher, but just because of the snag, I did want to move it quickly and it sold after 2 days. So this is honestly the prime season to be listing it to, so I think that's also a factor. This is a dress that took longer to sell than I thought it would. This is a Hot Topic mini dress. It had this crazy cool pattern on it. I wouldn't say pick up everything Hot Topic, but this was like so whimsical. I had science, chemistry, lab, black goth, retro. I've had this dress listed since like the middle of February, and it sold on eBay with shipping for $30.59. I do believe that this one was promoted too because the fees were $7. So I ended up taking home $13.72. I may have had this one priced like a little bit too high, and I think that's why it took so long to sell. But it's quirky, and I knew it would sell. I'm still testing out style-based things. So this is a style-based piece. This is a whimsy goth skirt. It's beaded sequin, brown, black, small mesh goth. I also had 90s. This sold on eBay for $26.49, and I ended up taking home $11.67. I think this one was promoted too. I had this one listed also in the middle of February. The whimsy goth, I believe, is spelled correct in this listing. Wrong in all my other listings. I think this was my only whimsy goth when I searched that keyword that had sold. And I think there were 10 not listed or 10 not sold. So I don't know if that's my genre to be picking up, but clearly I have been. I was happy to sell this. I think the fees were high, and I'm happy to save it from the bins. Next, this is a pair of Kendra Scott earrings. Did you miss them? I actually sold 3 of these. I sold 1 by itself and then 2 in a bundle. So the first one I sold on the 24th on eBay. It sold with shipping for $24.02. And I profited. I did have $9 into this. I profited $12.41. And then the second sale was the next day, which is funny because I've had these listed since the end of April. So maybe they got pushed up in the algorithm. I'm not sure. The bundle of the 2 sold for $70.54. And so I ended up taking home $31.73. Super happy with that one. I do have 2 of these left if you realize that you love them. Oh, I did want to make one quick note on these that I realized because apparently I don't know how to follow directions. So I've used FLYP for years. Like since I started, I think this fall it's coming up on 3 years, which is crazy. I'm not telling you it's a good software. I'm just telling you it's a cheap software. And as someone that's part-time, that's something that I value. I'm trying to decide if I value some other things more. It does have some shortfalls. But anyway, I had to cancel a bunch of sales on eBay because it wasn't managing multi-quantity listings well, / at all, really. And so I thought it said things were delisted and suddenly they would just disappear on platforms, or I would say it was sold and off that platform and it was still on it. Literally, these Kendra Scott pieces are one of the reasons I lost like my top seller status on eBay, which to be honest doesn't really mean that much to me because then I just changed my shipping to 2 days and I've been living in bliss since. I still almost always do 1 day, but as being part-time, to have the luxury of shipping out in 2 days, it's really nice. Or like when I leave on a work trip, like sometimes I'll ask my roommate to like leave out the packages for the postman, and then I forget to text her, she forgets to leave them out. So it just buys me like a little bit of wiggle room. Anyway, I realized that I was a little click happy every time I was on FLYP, and it did say on the prompt on it that when you have multi-quantity, you do need to manually manage them. So that's a me thing. My bad. I wouldn't say throw the baby out of the bathwater with FLYP, but I am contemplating switching. I did want to check out Vendu, which I had looked at before, but to be honest, it's so expensive. And then Mogi Beth did briefly talk about Nifty, which I do actually really want to try out. It seems more interesting. I use Prime Lister now for the Poshmark automation. The only reason I didn't switch over to everything for that is because they don't have like an analytics page, which I love about FLYP. And so like I have years of data on here. And so that's basically one of the reasons I haven't left, is that I've just used the software for like 3 years. Anyway, back to the sales. This is actually a Patagonia item to look out for. This is a Patagonia R1 Air zip neck. That must be what it's called. Like a pullover jacket. To be honest, this wasn't even in really great condition, and it was a size extra small. This sold on eBay, and I had this listed for, it was only listed for 2 days. One of the reasons I was contemplating switching to another software, and frankly, I make like 3 sales a day, anywhere from like 2 to 4, honestly. Maybe sometimes a little bit more on the weekends. They sold on eBay, and then I didn't delist it right away, which sometimes I do. If I sell something on Poshmark and I'm not by my computer, I'll go ahead and delist it on eBay right away because I'm only paying $10 a month for FLYP, and that's great. They don't do automatic delisting. This sold on Depop like an hour later, and I was like, ugh. So anyway, this sold on eBay for $44.41. I took home $30.44. Next, we have these New Tag Boys REI Co-op Sahara convertible pants. I knew these were a home run when I saw them in the bins. They sold with shipping for $35.41. I made $23. I should actually see what these were selling for. These sold for $40, $60, and I think I sold them for $30. So the fact these also sold in 2 days. So to get half of that amount, I knew those were a home run right away. Also, if you see the first picture, I must not have taken the full picture of the pants, and when I went to list them, I was just too lazy to take a picture again. So that's my reseller laziness right there. Okay, this surprised me a little bit. This is a Mave Anthropology Printed Trees Frederick shirt. Frederick Flirty shirt. It's a blouse. It was size 8. I listed this one lower, and this is maybe where you shouldn't let your bias get to you. I didn't think this was that cute. I almost didn't pick it up. I almost took it to consignment, and I was like, you know what, whatever. I listed this for $24 and it sold for $19. And it sold like 3 weeks after I listed it. So yeah, sold in Poshmark. I made $13.20. I don't know. I just like, it's not my style. And I thought it was kind of outdated, Mave. Maybe it wasn't, and I messed something up. You win some, you lose some. Okay. I have a few prefaces to this next sale. One, I could have gotten more money for this, but there were some flaws to it, okay? Don't come for me. I was also trying to get things moving on Poshmark. This sweater could have sold upwards of like $90. And so I was trying to get things moving on Poshmark, and I can't tell you that it worked. But anyway, this is an oh gosh, I don't know how to pronounce this. Ermengelido Zenga men's quarter zip sweater. It's 100% wool, large Italy. So basically, the saga of this sweater is that I sweater shaved it, which took me a bunch of time. And then I realized that there was like a small mark or something, so I threw it in the wash. It's a dry clean only item. Stupid. Which, like, it didn't hurt the piece. It was fine. But then I had to sweater shave it again. And then when I finally photographed it, I realized there was a hole on the back, which, like, it was a hole like that big, and it was on the hem. I could have sewed it. Frankly, this just sat in a bin for like 3 months of like the things I needed to like mend or sweater shave, and I couldn't let it sit in a bin any longer. And I was like, get out of my house. You ever feel that? So this sold on Poshmark for $45, which is still good. I could have sold it for more. I know. But I ended up taking home $34 because I did get this at the bins. But do look out for that brand because they do have $100 sweaters. I believe I've also sold a tie from that brand, but it's also like, it's an Italian brand, and cha-ching, you know? Next is a bad bra sale. This is a Poshmark sale. This is an Athleta sports bra. It's the Phenomena adjustable razorback in a size 34C. It's one of their high impact bras, which, to be honest, I was thinking about that, and I was like, I don't know that 34C is a size that needs high impact. Like, it may be on the cusp. So, like, I don't know. Normally, I feel like that starts at D cup, and so maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. I had this listed in the middle of last October. It sold on Poshmark for $12. I think someone offered me that, and I profited $7.05. Oops. Last sale was an exciting one. This is a Petrus 100% silk scarf. So I know nothing about this brand. I don't know if it's a bolo. It might be. This did take about 6 months to sell, so I will preface that. The pattern on it is insane. It's so cool. So it's actually like Versailles of the night. I also had whimsical square art. I had a lot of interest on this since I listed in January. I did get an offer on it on Poshmark, and what's funny is like immediately after that, I got the same offer on eBay, but I had already accepted the Poshmark one. But anyway, so I was like, this is clearly the same person. It did sell for $40. I want to say I had it listed for like 60 something. And I took home $30. So that was a great sale. And I mean, I do list everything that I have at the bins at $20, but this was light as air. Like, I bet you it was like 50 cents. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you thought maybe one of my sales was cool. I'd love to hear your best sale of the week or something you thrifted that was awesome. And I'd love to chat with you guys in the comments. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you guys want to like and subscribe, I do a what sold video every single Monday. And then on Thursday, every other Thursday, I like to do another fun video. So if you have any requests, let a girl know. But I'll see y'all next time. Bye.